Sure. Thank you for reminding me. Yes.
Yeah, because
Um,
I need to go.
oh yeah, you have to leave. It's 5 Central or 5 Mountain time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
So
I
I'll see you if you need anything between now and then. Between now and Tuesday, just email me. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much. Yeah, and I appreciate you so much. I was so afraid of opening Rhino a few weeks ago. And now here we are putting circles in places where circles don't go.
Well, yeah. Let's figure out where the circle goes. Yeah. But yeah, absolutely right. Yeah. You guys have done a lot
Yeah.
in a very short amount of time. Just get used to it. The pace is crazy, but that's how you learn in leaps and bounds. Okay, right. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up my Chrome browser and go to Autodesk Forma really quickly and log in there. Um, I found that when I get to a link that lets me sort of access my Forma hub, and then it'll allow me to sign in, hopefully. Is it going to make me like enter in a code? Okay, I'm still signed in. That's good. All right. So you can see that again, this hub is like Deborah has some stuff on there. She's a faculty member in architecture. I have some stuff in there. There's former studios, but our recent site, 231 South Las Vegas Boulevard, is here. I'm gonna go ahead and click inside. You can see that this was from week one, like day two, or I think, or something like that, right? We said, okay, let's pump in our address. Let's look at the site. Let's look at the context around it. And there we go. And look at this. Martin has his massing in here under the Martin proposal. Um, Ali has her proposals. It's just a blank right now. Don't worry about that. I have Josh experiments and I have some stuff in here that I brought in from Revit. So here's how, first of all, before I talk about how to go back and forth between Rhino and Forma, I just want to show you what some of the things you can do. Why are we looking at Forma, right? Because I think that's important. So once you get this stuff in, you can see that first of all, this isn't the same thing you guys were doing, and it's in the parking lot to the south. So this obviously is in the right spot, but it still allows us to sort of see an example, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the analyze box over on the right, and I've just held my cursor over some of these. We can begin to, first of all, it gives us the site in the area and the topo if there's any topo, like particular. That's really helpful. Terrain, topography, right? Topography. So, but it also lets us do a lot of analysis. So here, for instance, I can say, let's do a sun hours analysis. Let's see how many sun hours over average over June 21st. I'm going to run the analysis and let it start to go here. And it's going to give me a color-coded diagram showing me where I get the most sun and the least sun. Same thing with daylight potential analysis. So go ahead and run that. And it's going to run, it's not running on my machine, it's running on a server in a server farm somewhere in the cloud. Okay. I can do wind analysis and I can say for comfort and direction. When I do direction, it also gives me a wind rose where I can see where the prevailing winds come from in this area, northwest and southwest seem to be, and then a little bit from the north seem to be the sort of stronger winds depending on the time of the year and day. Um, and you can see when I do comfort, it'll start to do some computational fluid dynamics and try to give me detailed analysis when it comes to comfort from strong winds. That can be helpful in more built up cities, I think. But anyway, let me just get out of wind analysis here. How do I get out of this? Is there an X? Oh, here we go. Just scroll up. We can do noise analysis. And look at this. This is so good, right? Missing traffic data. All right. Let's see. Where is it? A real-time prediction of noise conditions based on machine learning models. We could go for roads versus rail. For whatever reason, it's saying custom circle. And I want to maybe, I don't know where that custom circle came from, but I'm just going to increase the radius. Try to anyway, and see if it'll analyze. Add roads, rails. Let's see what it's doing here. I might have to go through this a little more and let it go, but for whatever reason, and maybe that's just the center. I don't know. That's weird. Why the circle doesn't include us in here. Noise radius. If it's a custom circle, then why can't I move it around? By default, around another, you've added a site limiter zones to get full analysis results. Um, I've increased the radius. Why won't it give it to me? Give it to me. Start guide. Analyze. Edit based. Okay, so anyway, the noise one looks a little like it might be a little more complicated than I thought. I can run analysis on solar energy, and it can give me it'll look at the roofs and other horizontal surfaces and sort of say like, based on the amount of sun and shadow, like this is the if this area might give you more energy output for photovoltaics or something like that. We can do an embodied carbon analysis. We can do a shadow study. Watch the shadow study. If I zoom in and I say, let's say June 15th from 8 a.m. to 20 hours preview, it'll go through and do the sun study for June 20th or 15th. I can change the dates and begin to run through this, export the images out, start to see the long and short shadows. So this is a really nice way to sort of visually, it generates the data, but it's a nice way to sort of visualize the data, right? In these sort of diagrams that we were talking about before anyway. Yeah. So let me go back to this solar study. You can see, open the last analysis. Look at this, right? Hold, come on now. It's going to paint it, right? You can see where you get more and less sun, where you're actually getting shade. Isn't that beautiful?
Structure perpendicular to maybe some of the wind.
Or you can do the solar analysis. Let's look and see now that it's done. And you'll see that we get, again, some parts are in more shade than others. You can do this for winter. You can do it for a date, or I think you can do it for a season, right? Or you can say June 21st versus December 21st. Get the summer solstice and that December or the winter solstice. Yeah. And so you can start to see, right? So some of those diagrams that Martin was showing, right? That's what this sun hours is. It doesn't look like it. So here's the interesting thing, right? And this is what I wanted to show you. This is how you get the plugin so you can bring in the Revit geometry into Forma or go from Forma to Revit or Rhino to Forma or Forma to Rhino. So over here you go, well, it's Autodesk, but it's a web app. It's all in your browser.
But
But you can start to link things in from Rhino or from Revit into it, or take this data into Revit or Rhino.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here you go over to here to the left side where there's proposals, there's a library, but you go to extensions and you can say add extension. And you can see that there are some extensions here. Let's look and see if there's a seismic one. There's an ArcGIS, since Ali loves GIS. There's aerial views. There's Autodesk Forma. So there's the plugin for Revit. So you can go back and forth between Revit and Forma. Here's the one for Rhino. So I've downloaded that already as a .exe file. Here's one for envelope analysis, environmental terrain. This is some sort of to publish this to an AR app so you can put your goggles on and walk through it. This is for Finch or Evolve. Test fits in here. I downloaded and already added a shadow study for mine. And so there's some things in here you can play around with. So when I download I say download for, let's say, the Autodesk Forma plugin for Rhinoceros, then it just gives me in the downloads a .exe file. And I can run that in Windows. And the next time I open up Rhino, watch this. I can execute that executable. It'll come in and it'll say, oh, okay, I'm going to load in that Forma plugin the first time you open Rhino up again. And I'm going to open up planar composition demo. And let's see. Here, I've already brought in, so here, right? I've left that Forma plugin open. What you can do now is you have Forma. Forma is one of your commands in Rhino. I can type in Forma in the command line.
You just
and it it installs that plugin in Rhino. Then now in Rhino, I can type in Forma and this Forma box pops up. If I want to connect this to Forma, I can give it the web address, the URL of my project proposal in here and link it up. And I could say load site data from Josh's proposal. Now it's going to come up here and say, make sure you log in, make sure you verify this. It's going to give me a freaking code again to plug in. Of course it will. Hertz wants to make me rent a car. Autodesk makes me enter in a code. All right, let's see. Command C, and then back here it's Control V. That's really annoying, going back and forth between Mac and Windows. Now I can close this out. Let me just,
But you're like that.
and watch. All that site data from Forma should pop in here. Look at that. Right? Including the satellite imagery, including the right-of-way information, including the buildings, right? And here's my model still. You can see it's in the parking lot here. Now, if I want to go the other direction, right? If I scroll down in this Forma box, you can see all of the layers in my Rhino file, and I can tap and I can say, I want to do, let's say, all the stuff in the model layer, the shapes layer, and the surface layer, and I can say send layers to Forma. So let's do that. And now when I open up Forma, that Forma thing again, yeah, you'll go back into Forma, right? So Forma, you can run and get those diagrams and bring those out and put them in your PowerPoint or your Keynote. So So going from Forma to Rhino is like bringing in all that site info that it already has built, like this stuff.
Yeah.
And then once you build your building, you can just bring the building into Forma to start running the diagnostics and do the
Okay,
analysis
so
on
you
it.
just sent the link back over there.
Yeah.
The export is from.
Yeah.
Making sure you don't send all the layers,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, double check and make sure you're just sending the stuff that you need, particularly if you're going to do analysis, right? Like there's more like analysis models are usually stripped down and a little more simplified, right? Because you're really interested in like how the surfaces are receiving light, which ones aren't, what's being shaded and what's not, right? So exactly what you were saying, the stairways inside the stair towers, you'll never see those. You can turn those off. You don't necessarily need to send those. The elevator cars inside the elevator shaft. Yeah, exactly, right. Even railings, you can get rid of some of that detail just for the analysis part. So again, when I go back into I'll just open up Autodesk Forma again. Ta-da. Let's see. Access my Forma hub. I don't know why I closed that before. It was just by accident, I think. And I go back into the site, 231 South Las Vegas. And I go back to Josh's experiment. You can see that my Rhino stuff is right here, right? I've imported it over. And now I can do the analysis again if I wanted to do the analysis for sun. Now, here's the other interesting thing. And Martin, you've probably figured this out already. But how do you export the images out? Are you just taking screen captures, or there's got to be a way to take the images out of this? Ah, there we go. PNG screenshots, or you can do a vector SVG file, screen vector graphic. So the screenshot PNG, and then you export it, download it, and it'll be in your downloads folder. Gorgeous, right? So I'm going to do it there, but now I want to do it with some of the analysis on. So let's see, open the last analysis, right? And then inside this window, once I get it where I want it, I can go to the camera. Thank you, Martin. You're a gentleman and a scholar. I'm going to go to PNG, make sure, and go ahead and download that. And bam, right? And I can start to save different camera positions if I want to, right? That's really handy. You can hit plus and save angle 1 versus angle. You can start to create more angles. You could do 2D and see it in plan. Um, right? So you can go back and forth and sort of figuring these things out, right? To sort of understand what view. Look at that view. That's great. Look at that. Damn. That's some sexy diagrams right there. Like that, like considering it only took like what, a minute and a half? That's a real value proposition. That's why I wanted us to get into Forma. I tried at the beginning, didn't figure it out.
I'm picking up.
But now you can see how it connects to Rhino so easily. And it connects to Revit really easily. Like, good job. Like, well done, Autodesk. Like you finally for once did something right here. instead of just the regressing to the mean, you know, like, well done, old bean, bravo. Anyway, all right, so that's what I wanted to show, and that's what comes really handy. That plugin was a .exe file. So I don't know if there's a .dmg if you're running Mac or Rhino on the Mac side, because it'll run in your browser, your Chrome browser on the Mac side. So it's a matter of just it plugging the Rhino stuff.
It doesn't know who I am,
So I want to know.
guys. But in,
All right, well, I might have to sit over your shoulder maybe first thing on Tuesday.
okay.
And then also same with the perspectives. Oh, no. Then you need to log in, first of all, with your .edu address. Okay. Then I might need to resend it to you or something.
Okay,
You should get an email with it. You should have gotten an email with an invitation.
maybe I.
And if you can click on that link, maybe it'll work. But now that you,
Today. Just loves you, and, we just love having you use our stuff, and I deleted some of it.
I'm actually going to go to my downloads and I'm gonna actually post this on Instagram story. Like my students are so awesome. They're doing Forma and it's just like, it's just like pure. There's this website, information is beautiful, and it's all just like information graphics that are like blinged out, like designers taking data and making it accessible and visual. Like this makes me feel like that, like it's that good. Considering everything, especially considering how easy it was. Oh my goodness. Didn't even have to try and you got something good. Wow, that's
No, I got the invitation.
okay. Try the invitation. Let's see.
Your invitation is expired. Just, no, it hasn't, it works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's just my ear dropping that screen capture to my phone.
Fine,
Okay, you're gonna need Chrome. You're gonna need
Hey.
Chrome. Are you in Chrome?
no.
You're in Safari. So I have Safari too. So it might kind of work, but you might be glitchy. But let's try it anyway, right? Let's go to the extensions. And yeah, no, that's Martin's.
Okay.
So watch, hold on. When I go back to proposals, that's Mark's proposal. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a proposal for you. Make a proposal here. Let's make this a little bigger. Okay, now we can go plus.
I exported the,
Oh, okay, I made like a bunch of new proposals. Oh, okay. Hold on, let me just delete these two. I'll name one Jason.
I think I exported the latest DWG.
It doesn't matter, it doesn't need this. If it works, if it works correctly, yeah, you have double T.
Yeah,
You have double T, you see?
uh,
The DRU
yeah.
and the LBC.
Yes, yes, LBC.
Oh my gosh. All right, so this is OG. So we'll go to Jason's. But let's go to extensions. And let's add extension. Let's see what it gives him.
But he sells half the sells way.
So let's see if it gives you.
Come on, give us a Mac one, but we don't want to.
Please understand this is the Mac OS.
It's just that.
Yeah, let's allow it. We'll allow it. It's a .exe.
All right.
Needs to run in Windows.
That's okay. But
It's gonna run in Windows.
so,
I don't think you have Rhino Windows. You have Rhino Windows.
no,
Well, let's see.
no, I don't have Rhino.
Let's see if it works. Allow.
I
It's
tried
for all
to
users.
stay out of.
Let's see if it works. Verified, yeah, we'll let it be changed.
The less Windows stuff
I accept the agreement. Next.
the better. I just don't want nothing like some stuff.
Now. Let's just open some. Sure. Let's open up Rhino. Give it a second here.
And then I've got a grasp on it.
Alright, so let's see, Forma.
Get it.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close Rhino. You wanna save this? I think this was just. No, we just opened it up, we didn't.
It just opens it up as the cat. I'm still having trouble folding this.
Yeah, quit Rhino.
Yeah.
You open.
I really gathered my few, I did it a bunch of times and I'm still,
How do I get?
I got problems.
Oh, you know, I'm still recording this. I'm just trying to find Rhino. Where's Rhino?
I'm just good.
Here, you open it up, let's see.
Sometimes it will pop out of the.
All right, I'm gonna stop recording.